Go to next slide. Importance of inheritance. Importance of inheritance, advantages of inheritance, both are one and the same. So let me discuss importance of inheritance with respect to an example. So consider the following block of code. Now in this program, I have written a class call box. Inside this class call box, I have three instance variables, that is width, height, and then depth. All these instance variables are of type double. Inside the class call box, I have written a parameterized constructor which is taking three arguments. So I've used constructor in order to initialize values for my instance variable. Then I have written a method called volume, which is going to compute the volume of a box. The entire result I am trying to store in a variable called v, and the result I am trying to return. So what's the return type of v? The return type of v is double. So therefore the return type for volume is double. I would like to do some small modification to this block of code. So what is the value of v? The value of v is nothing but it is width into height into depth. So this entire value will remove. I'm going to replace with v. Then I'm going to remove this statement. So the two statements I have reduced into one statement. Now let us move to class called demo. So this class called demo will test the class called box. When I say test, means I'm going to check whether my class called box is going to compute the volume of a box. Inside this main method, I have created an object of a class called box. So once we create an object of a class called box, control immediately jumps to the constructor. But right now my object is taking three arguments. Therefore, control goes to the constructor which is taking three arguments. So inside my class call box, I have a constructor which is taking three arguments. So the set of statements inside the constructor gets executed, and the value 10 will go to w, and the value of width will be 10, and the value 20 will go to h, and the value of height will be 20, 30 will go to t, and the value of depth will be 30. Right now this entire object I'm trying to store in a variable called mybox1, and the type of this mybox1 is box, since mybox1 is referring to an object of a class called box. Next, I'm trying to call a method called volume with respect to mybox1. So immediately control goes to this volume method, and the statements inside the volume method gets executed, that is width into height into depth. So just now we have set the values for width, height and depth. The value of width is 10, the value of height is 20, the value of depth is 30. So 10 into 20 into 30, it is 6000. So the entire 6000 I'm trying to return, and the return value I'm trying to store in a variable called vol. The return type of vol is double because the return type of volume is double. And finally what I'm trying to do, finally I'm trying to print the volume of the box. Now these two statements I can reduce into a single statement. How? What's the value of volume? The value of volume is nothing but it is mybox1 dot volume. So this entire value, what I can do, I can replace inside this system.out.ln, and I can remove this statement. So let me run this program. You see that I got the output as 6000, right? Our class box is successfully computing the volume of a box. So we are very happy that we have written a very nice program which computes the volume of a box. But after a few days, the manager of the company arrives and says to me, "You have written a very nice program which computes the volume of a box." But he says, "To this volume of a box, please try to add the weight of the box." In other words, in my output, I should get both the volume of a box and then weight of a box. So how I can achieve this task? Can you think? So what we can say that we can go to the class call box. So inside the class call box, we can add an extra instance variable called weight, and using this extra instance variable called weight, we can compute the weight of the box. But that is not a good approach. Why it is not a good approach? See, right now my class box is having few lines of code, so we can easily add it. Now, for example, let us assume we have a class which is having some 100 and 1000 lines of code. Is it possible to edit the code? It's very difficult to edit the code. So we need to see an alternative method. So what is an alternative method? That is, we can go for inheriting the class call box. Why we can go for inheriting the class call box? You see that, so what the manager has said, with the volume of the box, what I need to do, I need to add only one extra component called the weight of the box. Since the entire code remains same, only the minor part of the code I need to change. So this minor part of the code, I can write a new class called box weight, which will try to inherit a class called box, right? So let me write the code. That is, so I have written a class called box weight, which is trying to extends called box. So inside this class called box weight, I'm going to add an instance variable called weight. So weight is double, right? Now we write a constructor inside the class called box weight. Using this constructor, what I need to do, using this constructor, I need to initialize the values for width, height, and depth. Not only that, I need to initialize value for this weight also. So therefore, inside this parenthesis, I need to pass totally 4 arguments, that is one for width, one for height, one for depth, and one for weight. So let me do this. Enter code remains same. Just I'm copying. Next, I need to set weight. Now, successfully, I have written a class called boxweight, trying to extend a class called box, right? Now, inside this class called boxweight, I have written a constructor called boxweight. Let me test this class called boxweight, which will compute the volume of a box and then weight of the box. So in order to compute the volume of a box and weight of a box, I'll do small changes inside my main method. So instead of creating object of a box, I need to create an object of a box weight. This box weight. So once I create an object called box weight, control immediately jumps to the constructor inside the class called box weight. But my constructor box weight is taking how many arguments? It is taking totally 4 arguments. Right now I passed only 3 values, so I need to pass one more extra value for weight of the box. So let me assume the weight of box is 1, right? Now that 10 will go to W, 20 will go to H, will go to D, and 1 will go to WG. So now inside my box weight, the value of width will be 10, the value of height will be 20, the value of depth will be 30, and the value of weight will be 1, right? So this entire box weight I'm going to store in a variable called myBox, and the type of myBox is, it is not box, it is box weight, since my box weight is referring to an object of a class called box weight, right? Next, finally, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to print the volume of the box. Along with the volume of a box, what I should do, I need to print the weight of the box. So let me print the weight of the box. So instead of volume, I replace with weight of the box. To run this program, let us check the desired output. What's the desired output? The volume should be 6000, the weight should be 1. Unfortunately, it is throwing an error. So in order to resolve this error, let me write default constructor inside the class called box. Now let me run this program. Yes, you see that I got the desired output, that is the volume of the box is 6000 and the weight of the box is 1. So right now you might be thinking why we should add this default constructor inside the class called box in order to get the output. So this concept we'll see in the later sessions, right? So what is the advantage of inheritance? You see that my class box weight, in order to compute the volume of a box, what it has done, it has inherited the code which is present in the class called box. In other words, the class called box weight has reused the code which is present in the class called box. We call this as code reusability, right? The advantage of inheritance is nothing but it is code reusability. I'll type here. The advantage of inheritance is code reusability. So let us move to slide. So what it says, the importance of inheritance or advantage of inheritance. So what it says, once we create a superclass that defines the attributes common to a specific set of objects. It can be used to create any number of more specific subclasses. So what it means, let me read the same statement with respect to the program what we have discussed. It goes like this. Once we create a superclass called box that defines attributes called width, height, and depth, which are common to a set of objects, then that superclass can be used to create any number of more specific subclasses. With respect to our example, using superclass called box, we have created a subclass called box weight.